This is a Swift Lifestyle 4FB. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll take you through these in person here on site. In the front locker, you have 2 gas bottle tie downs. The 2 gas bottle tie downs are there to carry a maximum of 2 6-kilogram propane gas bottles. And then you've got your gas pipe work that comes into the front of the bottle, reverse thread fitment, and this anti-clockwise to loosen and anti-clockwise to tighten and clockwise to loosen. You then got your spare wheel in the front locker also, and the gas regulator in the bulkhead. This little yellow switch here is to isolate the gas supply, so you can spin that round to the off position just here should you ever need to isolate the gas. On top of the bottle you've got gas open and gas closed, so we're going to open up the gas supply. So when we go inside the van, everything ignites on gas. When you're travelling, obviously you would need to turn this back the opposite way and make sure it is completely turned off. Coming down the side of the caravan, you've got your heating and hot water flue, so it's Truma heating and hot water flue in this particular caravan. I'll demonstrate this when we go inside the caravan. You've then got your 2 wind down legs at either side of the front to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. The water pickup pipe very simply connects to the side of the van by pulling back the blue trigger and releasing, as you can see, and then you push in, unlock the pump in place to connect the water pump up. The pickup pipe has to be fully submerged in water prior to the water pump being turned on inside the caravan. Battery box, 110 leisure battery in there with quick release connections on top, and then your mains power lead coming into the side of the caravan. We always advise you have the power turned off at the post. Plug the caravan in to the post and onto the caravan, and then turn the power on the post, so that it's not a sudden surge going into the van. Then got the 2 fridge vents. They are very simply there to allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit to take some cool air in. Behind one of those you'll also find a gas flue for when the fridge is running on gas. Down the side of the van you've got your motor mover and your wheel nuts. We're going to torque the wheel nuts to the correct setting prior to the van leaving the site, and we'll also demonstrate the motor mover. You then got your 2 grey waste pipes. So in these you have 2 bits of grey pipe that go into the large diameter holes, and they'll drop down inside your waste master with your acro roll at the front of the caravan. You've then got your toilet flush tank at the back of the caravan. You'll open it up with the key, and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. In the bottom you've got your toilet waste cassette. You release the toilet waste cassette by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The orange neck here turns out 90 degrees, tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. Then on the other side of the cassette, on the back of the cassette, you've got an orange pressure relief button, and you press this button in when you're tipping the waste away so it doesn't split and splatter back at you. 2 wind down legs at the rear of the van. You've then got your storage locker for underneath the bed at the rear of the caravan. 3-pin socket to have power out to your awning. Storage locker for underneath the front seating area, and your barbecue gas point. In the door you'll find your motor mover engagement bar, which we'll demonstrate later on in the video. As you come onto the inside of the caravan, the first thing I'm going to recommend you do is come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan. Underneath here you're going to find your 240 trip switches and your 12 volt fuses. You have your master system shut down here, so you press this button in and it will pop up, and that will isolate the 240 power inside the caravan. You've then got your 12 volt fuses for your 12 volt systems on board the caravan, and down on the panel just by on the cabinet below here you've got a list of what each of those fuses is for. Top right hand side of the panel you've got your reverse polarity for in some European countries. Charger, so if I turn that off you'll have no 240 volt coming to the control panel above the door. You've then got your heating and hot water switch, which you need to have on for your Truma to work. Then on the end here you have a spare fuse for the 240 systems on board the van. Below that you then have your 240 trip switches. A little tip for you: if you arrive on site and you hit this test switch and it doesn't drop down like it's just done, it means there is no mains power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. It will only be this switch that drops down. Obviously if any of these break or drop down, push them back up, and then use the test just to make sure everything is working as it should. On the door down below again you have got a list of what each of these fuses is for. While we're underneath here, you can make sure the yellow drain down valve is flat with the floor to allow you to fill the water system up. If that valve is upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all of the water out of the system onto the floor underneath the van. So now we know all the power's on, we can come to the switch above the door and turn the caravan on the control panel. So hit the power switch just here when the camera clears up. Hit the power switch in the centre here, and the power will come on. Sorry about this. There we go. So we press the central button and it will turn the power on inside of the caravan. Got an indicator, so we've got mains power coming from the post to the caravan. And if you connect to the car, you'll have an orange light here and a green light on the caravan. Left hand side, you've got your leisure battery voltage, so it'll tell you how much power is going to the battery on board the van. You've got your water pump run, which I'll come back to in a moment. View levels, which will bring up whichever leisure or vehicle battery you have connected. And then the button in the middle here is just your power button, as I've demonstrated. So to fill the water system up, you're going to need to come over to every tap and open them all up on the hot side of the water system. Once all the taps are open on the hot side of the water system, you can come over to the control panel above the door and turn on the water pump. Once the water pump is on, the water system will start filling up. Now you allow the hot taps to be open until you have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan. As after each use, you are supposed to drain down the water system. So now the water system's full, I'm just going to shut this tap back off. So like I said, you do need to make sure you drain the system down after each use of the caravan. So to do that, you'd open all these taps up in the central position between the hot and the cold and open the tap up. The same with your shower and the sink in the bathroom. The shower head, I would advise you put down to the floor so it allows the water to run out. And if you can, take the shower head off, just so it allows any water out of that system and the shower head itself. And then you'll open up the yellow valve below the seat into the upright position, and that will completely drain the system down. Once that system is full, you can actually then turn on the Truma heating and hot water control panel. So above the door, to the left hand side of the main control panel, you have the Truma control panel. Now you always need to make sure this is turned off before you ever turn off this control panel on the right hand side, hence why at the moment there's nothing on this screen. So to turn it on, press the power button in the centre, or the control button in the centre, and it will turn this control panel back on. I'll show you how to turn it off in a moment once I've demonstrated it. The first icon you see is your room temperature on board the caravan. So you'll hit the central button again, go to the room temperature, and then you'll use the dial here on the outside, spin it between 30 and off. So 30 degrees is the heating on full power, and off is the heating turned off. The next icon across is the the water temperature. So you've got off, 40, 60 or boost. So if you're showering on board the caravan, you'll need to use the boost option. The 60 is so you can have the water hot, and then the 40 is just so it ticks over at a gradual temperature. For now, we're going to set it at boost so it warms up when you get here on site. The next symbol across is the option to run your mains power or gas to the caravan. So you've got gas of its own, and it will self-ignite on gas, and it will come up with gas fail on the screen if it fails to ignite. Mix 1 is 1000 watts of electric and gas at the same time. Mix 2 is 2000 watts of electric and gas at the same time. Electric 1 is 1000 watts of electric on its own, and electric 2 is 2000 watts of power on its own. Here on site, we're just going to run it on electric 1 for now, just so we can show you everything's working. Then if I spin the dial to the end here, you've got your fan symbol. So you've got off, and if you've got the heating on, which I'm just going to turn back on for a moment so you can see it working, come across to the fan symbol. You've got eco or high for your fan speed. So if you've got your heating on, you can actually set your fan speed at eco or high, so it blows the air around the caravan, so it warms the van up. Down the bottom of this control panel, you have got some advanced options. For these advanced options, we do advise you read the manual completely that comes with the caravan. Next up, we're going to go to the fridge. To turn the fridge on, you have a power button here on the front. So you press the power button and the fridge will come on. Let me turn it back off. Hang on a moment. There we go. So we'll turn the fridge on, press and hold the power button, and it will wake up. At the moment, we're using 240 mains to power the fridge. To change the power source, you press and hold the grey button here on the left-hand side. Then you can use the arrows right or left to select the power source you want to use. So 240 mains, you've already seen that. 12-volt mode is for when you're towing down the road. Now, at the moment, that isn't actually going to do anything due to the fact we have no car connected to the front of the caravan. It is not the 12 volt supply from the caravan, it is the 12 volt supply from the car, and it will depend whether you have the right connection on your car to whether the fridge will work as a cool box while you're travelling down the road. Next option is gas. So we're going to go on to gas, hit the grey button to set it. Then you'll notice that these blocks start flashing on the right hand side here. Now that is the temperature for the fridge, and then you can use the arrows again to select how cold you want the fridge to be. The more blocks you have lit up, the colder the fridge will go. So I'm just going to go back over to the mains, so when you arrive again, the fridge is chilled so you can see it is working. Turn the fridge off, you'll press and hold the power button and it'll isolate the power to the fridge. I did forget to show you actually on the control panel above the door. To turn it off, you press the trim control panel. This is when you need to turn off before you turn off the panel on this side. Press and hold the power button, or the button in the middle. It'll come up with off, and when this screen goes completely blank, take a few seconds. As it is done now, you can then turn off the main control panel. So turn that back on, so it's on when you arrive. It should remember your last settings as it is done this time. So the water heater's still on, it's flashing to say it's warming up, and then you've got your mains power supply coming into the van. Microwave, very simple to use. You've got a quick start option here, as you can see, come on. You can probably hear it working away there. Hob, again, very simple to use, works very much like your household hob. I'm just going to put the camera down so you can see it all igniting. As you can see, the hob all ignites on gas. We're then going to go to the grill, and again I'll show you the grill igniting on gas just so you can see it is all operating. Lights up on the opposite side in a moment. As you can see, it is now working on gas. Then I'm just going to show you through the door here. The oven again working on gas as you expect to see. So coming back to the back of the caravan, and the last thing we'll go through is the toilet system in the bathroom. So you have an electric flush on the toilet, as you can see here. You've then got toilet full indicator light that illuminates red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself actually turns to be convenient, as you can see here. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan, it needs to be in this straight on position. And then the grey handle below the toilet needs to be pushed across to the right hand side to allow the waste into the toilet waste cassette. And in the closed position, as you can see here, to allow the waste, to stop any smells coming up inside the caravan. You'd also need to have this grey waste flap in the central position when you are trying to remove the toilet waste cassette, as it could potentially break the toilet waste cassette if you try to remove it without it being in the central position. So we go on to the outside now and show you how the motor mover works. So into the door, as I said, you've got your motor mover engagement bar, which we're just going to get out of the box. So engage the motor mover with the bar here. Put the bar on, push it over. You're going to need to lock it in place. So put the camera down for a second. As you can see there. We'll then get the motor mover power switch, which is this red key here. Go around to the other side of the caravan to where the battery locker is. You'll need to put the power switch into that connection at the back and turn the power on. And then we'll come round to the control, to the motor mover control again. Turn the motor mover control on with the two green buttons. And then you've got forwards, backwards, turns, turn, turn, and turn. To turn the controller off, press the two green buttons again, release. You'll turn the power off with the red key in the side locker. And then you'll disengage the motor mover. The bar, sorry if you can't quite see this. disengage, as you can see. So when you arrive on site, have a good look around the caravan, make sure you're happy with everything, and have a go with the motor mover and the gas systems. Once you're ready, come see me in the office. Thank you very much again. Bye bye.